My name is Barbara Patti, and my story, When Thanksgiving Meets Christmas, 101 stories of joy, love, and gratitude. After writing short stories and short memoirs with minimal success, I am now a published author. Creativity is thinking up new things. Innovation is doing new things, by Theodore Levitt. When Thanksgiving Meets Christmas. The tantalizing aroma of roasted turkey filled the air of the Metro Detroit home that my sister and I shared. My boyfriend had just arrived for our Thanksgiving dinner. This was the man I hoped to marry, and as a divorcee with a grown daughter, I was long past seeking my parents' approval. However, I was introducing him to my parents at dinner, hoping they would accept him into the family. I also needed to know if my southern style of cooking could pass muster with my Vermont-raised boyfriend. What can I say? I'm a good cook, but he didn't know that yet. Roger was also divorced with a preteen son with whom I got along. I'm a blend of southern and northern manners and know that family connections are important in building a happy, cohesive family. "Roger, I wasn't expecting you until 3 o'clock," I said, surprised at his early arrival. I wasn't dressed for the company. I looked a little disheveled with all the cooking, but he didn't seem to mind, as he greeted me with a warm kiss. "I came to help," he said, which made him a winner in my book. The only other man I knew who helped in the kitchen was my father. He didn't hesitate to assist when needed, wearing the butcher-style apron he had made for himself. When one of his male friends teased him about wearing an apron, he said, "I'm man enough to wear it." Thinking my boyfriend would just be in the way of our carefully planned meal preparations, I said, "Roger, could you please iron the tablecloth, set the table for 12, and put the floral centerpiece on the table?" He completed the task without hesitation and then said, "I brought fresh cranberries to make a cranberry relish." My sister and I looked at each other as she silently mouthed, "Cranberry relish?" That was something we had never tasted. Our cranberry sauce came in a can in a solid clump of jelly. I said, "Sure, that's so thoughtful of you." With that said, he asked for a measuring cup and a saucepan and started working. The popping sound of the boiling cranberries was a little disconcerting, but he seemed to know what he was doing. When he finished, he commented on all the food my sister and I had cooked. "Wow, did you cook for an army?" I laughed and said, "We always prepare enough for our guests to take food home for the next day. We're expecting 9 hungry relatives who won't have to cook tomorrow." When family members arrived, Roger helped put the food on the table. Our menu consisted of my roasted turkey and cornbread dressing, green beans with ham, mashed potatoes and gravy, my sister's mac and cheese, her homemade yeast rolls, cranberry sauce from the can, and Roger's fresh cranberry relish. On the dessert table, we put my sister's lemon pound cake and my specialty, deep dish apple pie. There was vanilla ice cream in the freezer. Our father carved the turkey as always, and the many dishes were passed. I noticed that not one member of my family sampled Roger's creation. My mother even turned up her nose at the sight of the dish as she passed it on. Of course, I put a spoonful of cranberry relish on my plate. I was hooked, but not only because I loved the man who prepared it. His sweet tart dish was delicious. That evening, after everyone left, I apologized to him because my family didn't even try his dish. He said, "No problem. That just leaves more for me." The man's a double winner, I thought. After everyone finished dessert and the leftovers were refrigerated, it was game time. We all like to play games, but Mother was a competitive word game player and hated to lose. I whispered to Roger, "Please let Mother win so she'll go home." He said, "That's not in my DNA." I saw the competitive spirit in his expression. We played her favorite word game until shortly after 10:30 p.m. when she beat Roger by one word. I knew then she would accept him into the family. The next step in our relationship was for me to meet his family. Roger, his son, and I traveled to freezing cold northern Vermont the day before Christmas. I met his parents, brother, two sisters, and several in-laws. They were warm and welcoming to me. On Christmas Day, dinner was held at the home of two of his aunts. We feasted on roasted turkey, squash, rice, potatoes, and gravy, tongue, pickles, peas, carrots, and a gelatin fruit salad. Dinner was delicious. But I was most impressed at the sight of the delicious-looking variety of pies I had never tasted before. They had chocolate, maple, cream currant, raspberry, strawberry rhubarb, mincemeat, boysenberry, and blueberry pies. When asked which one I wanted, I couldn't decide. One of Roger's aunts said, "Cut a sliver of each pie Barbara chooses." I selected all of the fruit pies and enjoyed every delicious bite. I was surprised to learn that his family also played games after dinner. When I discovered that his mother was highly competitive, I felt right at home. She liked playing card games and hated to lose, just like my mother. One evening, the family played her favorite card game until well after 1:30 a.m. because she refused to quit until she won. Playing games each evening of our week-long vacation revealed my competitive spirit. Roger and I realized that both our mothers were assertive and highly competitive, just as I am. Both our fathers were quiet and unassuming gentlemen, respected by everyone who met them. Roger, like our fathers, is a well-respected gentleman. When Roger and I looked at each other at the end of our fun-filled trip to Vermont, I said, "We were cut from the same cloth. That makes it easy to fit into each other's lives." He agreed. We eloped the following May. 33 years later, Roger and I still enjoy meals, competitive game playing, and his delicious cranberry relish, which he prepares for me every Thanksgiving and Christmas.